And welcome to my 1998 GMC Safari conversion van whose name is Marley. I've been living in her on and off for about 3 years now and vlogging my adventures over on my channel called Jessa J Vlogs. So come on in. Let's get started with the main part of the van, which is the bed. My boyfriend and I made this with just a bunch of plywood, put it all together in a matter of a few weeks. I've got just a little Safeway box with all my jackets and things, little container for water, as well as a first aid kit. And then right by the door, I always keep a pair of flip-flops so I can easily jump onto the ground when I wake up in the morning. I keep a little fan that I plug in when it gets too hot in here. I also keep the blackout curtains. Normally I would Velcro these blackout curtains right here, but the Velcro fell off. And so I've just been waking up with the sun, which is honestly much better because I don't sleep in until like 11 o'clock. Right over here, this is just a little storage thing. It's really convenient to have right by the bed. Different essential oils, some sleeping pills. This is a cool little portable lantern. You actually open it like this, and it's solar powered, so I can just have it sitting out like next to the van and it'll charge it. Right here I've got baby wipes. These are the best things you can have if you live in a van. You can use them to wash dishes, you can use them to wash your feet, you can use them to wash your face, you can pretty much use them for anything. As you can see, I can't quite sit up in the van, which some people would see as a downside. But when I'm living in this thing full time and I'm having to change like my clothes and everything while bending like this, I get really flexible. This is where I ran into a house backing up. Sad day for Marley and me. Back here is basically just a storage bin. We put climbing holds instead of handles on it. This holds a bunch of my climbing gear as well as a chair. And it has my sleeping bag back here because it's summer, so I'm not really getting much use out of that right now. Here is my kitchen, as I like to call it. And then this is my stove. This is kind of my spice thing, so I have all the different spices labeled. Right here is a lot of my cookware and utensils. I also keep some oatmeal in there because that's my go-to breakfast. I've also got the massive bag of lint. This is an amazing fire starter if you ever need one. Normally, if I'm gonna cook a big meal, I actually slide this out from under the bed. I'm gonna put this right here. That way I have a really big section that I can prepare food on. You just gotta make sure you're on flat ground. This right here is my fridge. Opens up like this. I keep some little ice packs in there. Right now, this is not running, but if I plug this into my car while I drive, then basically it cools like a fridge does and then freezes these guys. And then these guys will keep everything cold once the van is off. Right up in the front, I've got handy dandy Gorilla tape. This stuff is wonderful. It's like duct tape on steroids. Oatmeal. I always have oatmeal. People wonder how you go poop in the van. Well, it's only really an emergency thing, but I have this nice little poop bag kit that has chemical dirt stuff that basically makes your poop not smell so bad and keeps the bacteria down. You poop in this bag and then the next day you go throw it away somewhere safe. I've never used it in all my years of van lifing because I would rather just drive and find a bathroom. As far as peeing, I just pee behind trees. Not that hard. Right here, if you see all the Velcro, my sister Hannah, who was van lifing with me for a while, she put Velcro on the back of her phone so that when she was in the passenger seat, she could just plop it right there and watch TV. This is Velcroed as well. Basically just anything I use on a regular basis. Right now I've got my mask, got an ice scraper, haven't used that in a while. Sometimes I'll put snacks up there, but then I realized they started melting in the sun and it was kind of gross. Another example of how I use Velcro is where to store my ukulele. This is just Velcroed to the roof. And so I just play it whenever I want and then I can just stick it right back up here. And it's out of the way. Let's talk about power. How we keep electronics charged, especially being a vlogger. I have tons of camera gear and things like that. I'm gonna show y'all how it works. Over here, I have the trusty Solar by Jackery. If you open this up, it's got full solar panels. Sometimes I'll just set this literally right here. Connects to this Jackery, which is basically a huge portable battery. You also have just a regular like wall outlet as well as a car outlet. And then you can also plug this into the car and just charge it with the car. So if it's a really cloudy day or anything like that, and I can't really use the solar, I'll just plug this into the car and use like the car's energy. The main reason I like this Jackery solar is honestly because I like to stealth camp. I don't like for people to know I live in this van because it makes me feel less safe. So having solar on the top of your van at all times is kind of a giveaway that you're living in it, versus this, I only take it out when I'm like in a remote area and I'm camping and no one's gonna see it, and then I can just slide it back under the bed and no one knows. I do YouTube as a job, which allows me to basically freelance and take my job on the road. Another thing that I'm looking into is taking drone shots for like realtors or maybe rock climbers who are trying to get footage of them sending a project. So I'm looking into how to monetize that and kind of capitalize off of that. But if you're looking into van lifing and you're wondering kind of what jobs you can get that can be easily freelanced from the road, things like graphic design, website design. It's also interesting to think about your current job right now. I know some people are willing to take less pay. They'll say, hey, if I'm able to take this job on the road and do it full time there, you know, I'll take $10,000 less on my salary, and some employers are down for that. Van life can be dirt cheap and van life can be crazy expensive. It kind of depends on what you do with it. In the city, I found it's significantly more expensive than van life in more rural areas. Also, your rate of travel. So if you're traveling like 6 hours every day, that gas is really gonna add up each month and basically replace what would be a rent cost now becomes a gas cost. I'd say the main expenses are food, because you guys saw my kitchen, it can get a little bit tricky to cook, so sometimes you spend a little bit more money going out to eat. When I first started van lifing, I thought, oh, this will be easy, I'll just park anywhere I want. And then I realized there are so many restrictions. I actually have a whole video just on parking in different areas that I've parked in, if you're interested in watching that on my channel. There's a lot of areas that are actually free to camp in, like a lot of national forests, things like that. Obviously, there's always the traditional Walmart parking lot, although I would not suggest it. It's very bright, it's very noisy. So looking for areas like with mountains and rivers so you can filter water and things like that is really good. Finding showers can be a little tricky in the van. The main thing I did was got gym memberships. Every state you're in, you can just find a different Planet Fitness and take a shower there. Another thing I would do is find rock climbing gyms, and I would pay for day passes where I would climb, and then I would use their Wi-Fi to like upload videos, and then I would use their showers. So it was kind of like paying one price to get 3 different things. I've gone a lot of really cool places in the van, but I have this memory of this one place, I think it was out in California, and we found this parking spot next to this huge boulder, and we climbed up this boulder and did yoga on top of it while the sun set. And it was one of those like perfect moments. If you're interested in trying van life, my biggest tip is just try it. Start simple. So when I first had this van, I didn't have it fully converted. I literally slept on the back seat of the van, threw my clothes back here, threw a stove back here, and I left, and I lived in it for 3 months. Was it comfortable? Definitely not. But there's a lot of things about van life that aren't comfortable anyway. So I think just getting out there and trying it, even if it's just for a few days or for a week, as you go out on those little excursions, you'll realize, oh, I really wish I had a way to power my electronics. And you figure it out as you go. And little by little, you realize it starts getting put together. And now whenever I hop in this van, it has everything I need and I don't even have to think about it. Justin, my fiance, and I, we just got a Sprinter van, which is basically one of those big tall vans that you can stand in. Our plan is to do a conversion series on that van and eventually live in that full time. If you're interested in seeing that series, that'll be on my channel coming up soon. Also, if you guys have any questions that I didn't answer in this video, you can leave them in the comment section below or come on over and visit me on my channel. Bye guys, and